Good morning, plebheads. I'm Neil.
And I'm Mr. fucking YouTube, baby.
This is your morning porn. Today's episode, Predator Hunting Grounds Trial, No BS Review. Alright, Mr. fucking YouTube, we're here. They want to know, is Predator Hunting Grounds the absolute biggest piece of dog shit to come out in 10 years? Give me the answer.
No.
I know, I'm surprised too.
Surprisingly,
I can't believe it. I can't believe I'm actually admitting that. You heard it here first on the Balding Plebs. Predator Hunting Grounds is not total ass. That being said, we have a lot of things we want to talk about today, but Mr. YouTube, let's just first share our general impressions from our time with the trial this past weekend.
Okay, let's get one thing out of the way right away. To be fair, because we have been very critical of this, I had a lot more fun than I thought I'd have.
Absolutely, me too. I'm admitting it right here on camera. I had more fun than I thought I would have.
Now, my expectations were low. They were lower than low.
My expectations were Kingdom Come Deliverance low.
They were lower than the lowest you could have.
Yes.
But this game exceeded them.
Yes, it did.
The bar was low, but it exceeded them. And I think for me, same type of game, whatever.
Yeah.
They're all kind of the same. 4v1. The Friday the 13th thing, I think, is really slow. I don't like playing as the survivors in that game because literally you feel just like a totally useless piece of shit. Just exactly like they do in the movies. Which, you know, you root against them in the movies, so why the hell would you want to play as them in a game?
I don't.
Right? That's the problem. Now, in the Predator movie, you kind of root for Arnold Schwarzenegger, right?
Yeah, because he's a badass motherfucker.
He's a badass motherfucker. And when it's Schwarzenegger versus Predator, mano a mano, at the end of the movie, and he's putting the mud on, and he's going to war with this thing, like, that's a big fight feel. Like, that is a fucking kick-ass movie.
Let me just interject to say this. They actually have not recreated something like that, I would say, since.
No, that's why when people talk about the Predator movies, they're really only referring to one movie. Alright, the movie was about 1987, it had Arnold Schwarzenegger, and it was fucking awesome. Alright, so I mean, that's the feel I want in this game. I want my soldier to at least have a fucking chance.
And to be fair,
I mean, it's like Dumb and Dumber. There's a 1 in a million chance.
But you do kind of have a chance.
But you have a chance. Just like What's-His-Face does in Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah.
1 in a million, but he's saying there's a chance, and by God, there is. There is a chance you can kill the Predator. If the guy who's playing as him is really bad, like me, you can kill him.
Or me.
But once that Predator's upgraded, and he's got a war spear and a half dozen other things, you're fucked. You're fucked. You ain't gonna kill him.
So let's talk about some of the stuff we liked. I actually made a pre-discussion list today.
Oh my God!
I know. I was putting some work in for this video.
I'll start right off by saying that I don't think that graphically this game is like blowing anybody away.
It's not.
But I like the environment.
I do
we
too.
played in this like jungle environment a la the first movie, right?
Yeah.
But I did like the environment.
Me
I
too.
did. And I liked the overall feel. I played 3 or 4 or 5 rounds as the, Marine and 1 or 2 as the Predator.
Yeah.
Right? But I liked the overall feel of the Marine. I did. I thought he moved well. I thought the gun was snappy, the reloading almost maybe quicker than you'd expect. So I had a good experience, and I was just using weapon swapping. I thought worked well. And of course, once I got the shotgun and figured out what I was doing with perks and all that stuff, I actually had a character that I was like, oh, okay. Like,
I could deal some damage.
I could kind of like survive as this dude.
Yeah.
So that part of it was a hit for me. It was an actual hit.
Yeah.
Where I felt like, okay, my character is my own, and he is somewhat competent. That, for me, is one of the biggest problems I have in these games, when you just feel like a totally incompetent douche, and unless you're playing as the quote-unquote Predator or Jason or whatever, is not fun. So I actually had fun playing as the Marine and in the fire team, and we were playing with a group of subscribers, so we got to play with people we kind of have gamed with before, and so that overall experience was actually good.
So here, it's something I wrote down, right? You can win if you work together, right? So I played probably 5, 6, 7 additional rounds this afternoon, and I told you I wanted to get a little bit more experience with it before I talked about it tonight with you, and or this morning. And what I ended up doing was realizing the more you work together, the more you coordinate. What I did was I took a sniper rifle and I sat probably 100, 200 back, let my team go ahead and do the objectives, and I watched for the predator.
Nice.
When I saw the predator, I'd call him out, and I was hitting him from way far off. I was mudded up. You had no idea where I was.
Yeah.
So there is definitely I'm not going to say it's a deep tactical gameplay, because I think that's fucking bullshit. I don't think there's a deep tactical gameplay.
At least not with the trial that we've seen.
But I believe that there is some tactics to be had if you're willing to play your part, right? Like, you have somebody willing to play that close quarters with shotgun. You have 2 people running machine guns, and you have 1 person mudding up and sitting back and playing sniper rifle. I found that when I played that way, I survived 2 to 3 times as long. I actually had 2 different times where I escaped, and on 2 occasions, I killed the predator.
Nice.
So it was fun to see how taking a different approach to what I just assumed would be a run up there and shoot him in the face. It was fun to see how it changed the gameplay. So that, for me, like you said, the handling of the character was a hit. That, for me, was a big hit. Okay. And I really liked that. I liked how it rewarded you for playing differently other than what we're just seeing here.
Right.
Just getting into a group, getting into a clusterfuck, and just banging away.
Yeah.
Which, as we discover very quickly, is a total mistake.
Total mistake, but there is something really satisfying about putting a shotgun down one of those big enemies.
Absolutely.
And just dropping them dead.
And you hear like a splatter and like they just drop. So that is really cool. Or, putting like 8, 9 rounds into the predator's back at point blank range and not killing them. That's always a blast too.
Oh, yeah.
But let's talk about this. How about some of this mission-based gameplay structure? So what you'll see here is us doing these different objectives to get us to the escape.
Yeah, I actually really like that.
Sure. I'm going to let you give your thoughts on it, but then I want to share something about it too.
Okay. Yep, I actually really, really like it. I'm a big fan of it. One of the biggest problems I have with these type of games, guys, in the past is it just feels like, again, what you do is irrelevant for a lot of the time, right? If you don't escape or you get killed, you're a helpless loser guy. Jason comes up and kills you, or whatever, Friday the 13th, whatever game you're playing, you get killed, you've done nothing, you've accomplished nothing, right?
Yep.
So I like this approach because it makes it feel like, okay, yeah, you have the big bad looming in the trees, right, that you've got to be mindful of, but at the same time, you're able to accomplish some different small objectives to make yourself feel like, hey, I did something. I mattered in this. Again, the round is what, 10 to 15 minutes, let's say? Max. I mattered. Okay? I talk about this all the time in games, guys. What's the feedback loop? What keeps you coming back for another round? You want to fucking matter.
I collected Veritanium. I got
collect some stuff. Collect some intel. Blow something up. Kill some AI, right? Anything. But at least you feel like you mattered. That was a huge, huge plus for me. I want to give the game compliments where it's due. Again, absolutely. I was very, very critical of this when I saw it, and we watched trailers on it. Very critical, so I want to be fair to it. That made me feel like I mattered, okay? Just the hey, I collected some. I got XP. Every time you shoot the predator, you get XP. Every time you kill an AI, you get XP. Every time you collect intel, you get XP. So, at the end of the day, hey, we got a level. We got a box to unlock, and get some different skins and stuff. At least I felt like I was doing something. Even if the predator, once he found me, and the guy that was playing as a predator was actually, good, they'd run up there with the spear and, ace me in like 2 seconds. Yeah. At least I still felt like that was worth it. Yeah. Big plus for this game.
Really big plus. So we talk about mission-based gameplay. We talk about doing things back to back, and I'm actually going to compare this to Dead by Daylight for just a moment, because on Dead by Daylight, a lot of the experience I had was activate 3 generators, open the gate, and escape before the killer can kill you all. So what I see here is instead of the 3 generators, you're doing 3 different main objectives.
Yep.
3 different missions, 3 different main objectives before going to the helicopter, aka the gate to escape. Yeah, not the same game, but kind of same general structure. So what I liked about this is it isn't so, how do I say this without sounding like a total bitch? It isn't so basic.
It isn't so repeat.
Yeah.
The missions are different. There seems to be a storyline that they've got kind of built in. Again,
for sure.
it just feels more relevant.
The one thing that I do really want to see, and that I need to see at launch for this game, is I need to see a much larger variety, because I ran into, I believe, all the possible options for different story missions, objectives that we were allowed to have during the trial.
After a day.
Which is totally fine, because it's just a trial,
Yeah.
and I'm willing to concede that. But I have to see more than that at launch to make me say, yeah, this is worth, 50 or 100 hours or whatever of my time. And there you can just see the Predator just absolutely murdering us with the spear. So, but yeah, so I like the objectives. I like that kind of mission-based structure, and that was really well done.
That was.
Absolutely.
That
absolutely.
was a major positive.
So let's talk about the Predator's abilities. We got the heat vision. We turn invisible. We got the caster on the shoulder. We got the net gun, the spear, the claws, the big jump, the leaping abilities. So
the self-destruct.
Yeah, absolutely, self-destruct. So Predator, or the mega healing, right? Predator is really fun to play as, provided you can work out the controls and all that stuff. He's really fun to play as, and those abilities are really cool to use, right?
They are.
They're not so fun to fight against.
No.
So that really adds an extra depth, I think, to the game for, both sides. Just Predator side and Mercenary Soldier side is what you're playing against. You know because you can play as Predator if you want. So you know what to expect, kind of. But you never know really what level of Predator you're going up against.
Exactly.
Does he have the claws? Does he have the disc? Does he have the does he have the spear? Does he have the bow? Which I'm sure is just a total clusterfuck. I haven't been up against it yet. But that's my point, right? So you can kind of plan a little bit, but there's always that element of unknown, and I really like that. Fun to play as, not always fun to play against. So pretty cool.
Yeah, I think the overall experience, like I said, was more positive than I expected.
Absolutely.
And again, we were playing with people who, we play with consistently.
Yeah.
In different games, kind of help us along with it. When we first played, we were level 1s going against, I think, a Predator guy was 14, right? So he had geared out pretty good, and we were like with basic stuff, so we just got wrecked. But you still got experience, you still leveled up, you still started to learn how to get perks and stuff for your character. So it was okay to go through a little learning curve like that.
Absolutely.
But I think the balancing here is a little off. Like you said, like I played as Predator, right? Basic Predator with claws. Ran up, I was ripping dudes' skulls out, right? While you were sitting there pumping me full of shotgun.
Yeah, I shot you
and
8,
I'm
9,
just like,
10 times.
I didn't even know I was getting shot.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. And then I killed you.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, on what planet?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. Well, so I want to switch over for a second. I have one more point I want to make about the Predator, and then I want to switch over to some of the cons. The one final point I want to make is that even though the Predator in this game is super OP, as the killer is in Friday the 13th, and as the creatures are in Dead by Daylight.
I think the best part about Predator in this, because I do want to give it a positive.
Sure.
The best part about Predator in this versus the other games in this 4v1 style is that Predator can be very varied, okay? That's the key that I want to say. You can vary him, right? The different loadouts you can have. He feels versatile. He feels, to me, the most interesting character you can play as.
Well, to be
or
fair,
one of the more interesting characters you can play as.
Well, to be fair, in the first movie, the one lady does refer to it as a chameleon. Right? Changes up a lot. So, and one more point I want to make is there's different kinds of Predators, too, whether it's a scout, a heavy, a basic, etc. So, let's talk about some cons. I think the number one con for this is that the game is dropping at a $40 price point.
Yeah, this is really the thing I can't understand, guys, and for as positive as I am about this experience, which again, because my expectations were so low, it did exceed them.
Absolutely.
To be fair, you got to look at it like this. Okay, so there's me ripping the dude's head off right there while you're pumping me full of lead. Just like, I don't even, like, know what the hell's going on.
This is what I was talking about right here.
What am I even doing?
You're healing.
Oh, was I? You just loaded me up. Like, see ya.
That was my biggest problem with like Dead by Daylight and stuff.
Yeah, it's like you do everything in your power, and it's not enough.
So let's talk about it. $40 price point.
All right. So here's the thing. Yes, it exceeded my thing. Yes, it was fun. Yes, the Predator's cool. The fire team feels good. Mm-hmm. But I played, let's say 10 rounds. I'm not like
I don't know if I ever need to
I'm
play
not
it
like
again.
sitting here like planning out my strategy, getting ready for the next round.
Yeah.
Now, the game is built like a free-to-play. I mean, it literally is built like a free-to-play game. Yeah. Give them the 4 or 5 basic things, have everything else paywalled or gatewalled, basically, and either sell this Veradium shit that you pick up, or whatever they call it, or buy it with real money. That's literally how this game is built. When you see the store, and you can buy these crates for this Veradium stuff, or whatever. Veritanium, whatever they call it. I mean, it's loot box city up in here. And yeah, sure, you can collect that stuff. All you got to do is just lower the amount of it in the levels, give this free to play, and make people pay for it if they want the skins. I mean, they're charging $40 for a free to play game. I mean, this is literally every free to play game that's out there. This is Fortnite. This is Apex Legends. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's just a 4v1 style of that game.
Yep.
Now, I can see this being very cheap very soon, because let's be honest, the more people that are playing it, the more people that might purchase some Veradium.
Yeah.
Right? That's the biggest issue I have with it, is I can't see where I'd pay the $40 here. Personally. And it was a reasonably decent time, a reasonably fun time.
Yeah.
But it's not like, oh my god, like, I'm going to put 50, 70 hours into this, level my character up, and for what? That's where I'm missing it. Yeah. And that's where I miss it in all these games. Even though this is the best one that I've played out of all of them, it doesn't make me say, oh, let me jump out there and dole out the initial cash for it.
Yeah.
That is my biggest number one problem.
I agree.
And I think for you guys out there that are excited for this, just think about this a second. What you're getting for your $40 here. That's where I'm at.
I agree with you.
And
I don't think you're crazy. I don't think you're off the mark.
A lot of the stuff is gated, even after, if you paid the $40 and it unlocked everything, maybe. I mean, that would at least be worthwhile. But I just feel like the whole entire way the game is set up is a microtransaction hell, is what it is.
Can very easily become that, yeah.
So that's where I struggle a little bit. I do see it kind of a bare bones thing that you talked about. Yeah, you got the missions. The missions are nothing special. They literally show up on the screen. You go there, you do them. You're in, you're out, you're on to the next one, right? There's a storyline. Nobody gives a shit about it. You're basically killing the guy, collecting the info, fucking up his team, and getting the hell out of Dodge before you get killed. I mean, right?
While you're on the topic, actually, it's kind of funny because we're showing it right now. But while you're on the topic, I want to talk about this. Let's talk about the AI in this game.
What AI?
Yeah, the AI in this game is ass. Okay, let's move on to the next topic. Let's talk about...
Well, let's talk about the AI for 2 seconds, to be fair. Like, you walk into a room, the guy will be standing there looking around, you blow his head off. It's like, okay, thanks for the 10 experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun for like 3 or 4 missions.
Yeah.
You're sitting there and all of a sudden an alarm goes off and a bunch of, their support comes in.
Or they spawn in behind you.
They randomly spawn in all over the fucking place. and it's like, you know, it doesn't make any sense. They like come out of the bushes, you know. I don't get it. That the whole spawn in doesn't make sense. It would make sense for them to like if they drove up in trucks, or flew in with helicopters. So like you at least feel like, oh hey, they're alerted, they're coming in to help.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Not just they're alerted and poof, there they are, boom, 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 boom. It's a firefight.
Yeah.
So it just doesn't make a lot of like logical sense.
It feels forced because we know the main focus of the game is supposed to be on the predator. So the actual AIs feel forced.
And it's one of those things, too, where, like, if it was just you four versus the Predator, it would be boring, right?
Yeah.
Like, totally boring. So, the fact that there is other AI in there is a positive and a negative, right?
Yeah.
In a lot of ways.
Like, if you're going to throw the AI in, the AI at least needs to be smart.
Yeah, I mean, like...
We have the technology for it. It's just lazy programming.
You know, wouldn't there be a way to kind of tell the AI, hey, we got a bigger problem, let's gang up and get rid of this predator together? And
the AI does shoot at predator.
They do, but, you know, it doesn't feel like it's something that you've orchestrated, right?
It's true.
You know, the enemy of my enemy is my friend, right? Type of thing.
You're not wrong.
There isn't any of that really going on. No. Yes, they do shoot at predator. So I mean, okay.
It feels it feels like some of the interactions are a little,
They're low grade interactions. I mean, they're like the basic of the basic. Now they're functional. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, they are.
But it's not some sort of like a really like top tier AI by any stretch.
I want to mention a positive and a negative while we're on the topic. I'm going to be on the topic of graphics and interactivity for a second. First of all, I love how when you're shooting into the trees, you can blow away branches and foliage.
Yep.
And instead of hitting predator, you hit that stuff. Yep. I do really love that. Very reminiscent of the scene when Jesse Ventura unloads with the minigun. He's shooting down the trees. He hits the predator a couple times. And it's like, oh my God, I can't believe we hit him. And then he runs off and bleeds and he's got to heal his wound, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, like that's my point. It's a really cool effect that they put into the game to kind of make you feel like, holy shit, hey, this is pretty cool, pretty adapting some of the source material. I like it. Mm-hmm. One thing I don't like, you mentioned graphics before. You mentioned that they're serviceable, but they're not by any means incredible. For a first-person shooter, these graphics are ass. I'm other than the Predator models.
Yeah, the Predator model is the best thing.
I think the Predator model is like the one thing they focused on the most.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I think the graphics are total ass.
It's like first gen PS4 at best.
And I'm not gonna act like appreciative about it. I think the graphics are ass in this game, and I think they could have done a lot better with some things. Now, like you said,
I mean, it looks like a free to play. Like if this was free to play, you download it. But this is $40. No way.
If this was free to play on launch day, I'd be playing it.
Yeah,
but there's no way I pay $40 for this. But what I wanted to say was, like, when you shoot barrels and blow up the barrels, the explosions remind me of explosions from Deus Ex, the first one on PC.
Yeah, like way back.
even almost the sounds they make are not similar, but I just can't pretend to be okay with that because it just didn't do it for me. The one thing that bothers me about this game, and the one thing that is kind of has me a little bit concerned, I can't validate that it is factual yet. I feel like this game could become Microtransactions City.
Well, it's certainly set up to be.
And I know we talked about it already. We don't need to keep dwelling on it. But I feel like I see the way it's working. I wrote it in the notes for a reason. I feel like we could be looking at Microtransaction City here, and I don't want that to happen to this game.
You know, if they're going to do that,
just go free to play.
You could have had the free to play model here easily with selling the Veradium stuff or whatever they call it for you to unlock your different skins and stuff.
Yeah.
And it would make sense. I mean, the game looks free to play,
but it's not free.
But it's not. It's $40. I think that's an awful steep buy-in here, guys, for what you're getting. You know, unless I'm totally missing something. I mean, I just don't think there's that wealth of content here. Okay?
Yeah.
I mean, you know, it's novel. There's a novelty to it. You're going to have fun with it for maybe a couple days or a week.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I'm getting the $40 worth out of this game. Yeah. You know, now, you know, this is the type of thing they're going to give away on PS Plus. or they're gonna have for $5 soon.
It's YouTube. So damn popular. Everybody's trying to get a hold of us.
It's tough.
It is. It's tough to be us. That being said, we were talking about the $40 day one buy-in price, and you were just making a point of how you can look at and think, maybe in a couple months I get this game on holiday sale.
Oh, you're gonna get it on holiday sale because the more people they have playing this, the more microtransactions they're gonna be able to sell.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. That's how these games work. The more DLC they're gonna sell, right? That's how this goes. That's why they give away Friday the 13th. That's why they give away Dead by Daylight on the PS Plus. So, look, I'm honestly not even going to sit here and tell you not to buy it, right? If you tried it, the demo, and you really love it, and this is your jam, you know what? It has my blessing. I had fun with it.
Yeah.
I did. I honestly did. A hell of a lot more fun than I thought I'd have. It's the best 4v1 I've played by a mile.
Yep.
By an absolute fucking mile, because for the most part, I probably would play as the fire team. I play as a human, right? For the most part. And I just felt like I actually mattered. For the first time I've ever played one of these games, I actually felt like I mattered, right?
Like you just didn't get murdered
Like I didn't just run around and try to hide in a closet and wait till I got, my guts ripped out.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, if you really feel like you're going to get multiple 20, 30, 40 hours worth out of it,
or
and
more,
really work on putting the upgrades in, and you liked what you saw here, fuck it. Maybe it's all right. I just, for me personally, the repetition isn't quite enough for me to get me to buy it, right? On a personal level. I'm not seeing something here that's groundbreaking. I don't know if there's a way for it to be a fire team, or if you can, if you don't play with a team of, dedicated players that you're used to playing with, you play with randoms. How's that going to work? That could be fun. That could be kind of every man for himself.
Fucking, I found that out. That it doesn't work the best.
No team. And if you don't play as a team, I mean, the Predator just rips you apart. You have no chance.
Going to pick you off one by one.
You're not going to 1v1 the Predator if you're of equal or lesser level by any chance, right? It's just not going to happen. So, again, it's hard for me to say just because I'm not going to buy it to tell you guys not to. I mean, the trial was out there. You can try it out. You can make your own decision. For me, the $40 buy-in feels like a little bit of a slap in the face for what they're offering here and for the way this game looks like it's going to or could very easily have been sent out in the bare bones package like this, allowed to be downloaded, and then have the microtransaction model, because that's realistically pretty much how this looks like it's set up. And then they're asking for $40 just to get into it. I just don't see it, personally.
That's fair.
So that's where I'm at with it. But to be fair to the people that said for us to give this a chance and not just to write it off, you guys were right. I did have fun playing this. So I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, fair enough. Plebs, we'd like to get your thoughts down in the comments. And make sure you're subscribed here to the Balding Plebs. Click the bell for notifications, because we don't ever want you to miss an episode of hot, steamy porn.
You're welcome.